Hello and welcome back to Everything Tumbler Tutorials. My name is Rebecca Escott and today we're going to literally just dive right in. So you'll notice my cup is already glittered and I used the acrylic paint from Color Shot called Rainy Day that I picked up from Home Depot a while back. I'm also going to be using the glitter Platinum Daddy, which is a beautiful metallic fine for the glitter today. So I simply just painted the cup with the Rainy Day paint and then sprinkled my glitter on immediately. I then clear sealed this tumbler so that we can then let that dry and move right into the epoxy. For this first coat of epoxy, I am using Fast Set from Counterculture DIY. As with any coats of epoxy, make sure you use your heat torch to pop any bubbles you may or may not be able to see. Once our tumbler is fully cured, we're now ready to go ahead and apply the water slide. But first, I have the lid on because I'm going to use the manufactured notches that come inside that lid to use as my halfway mark, if you will. So I like to take this off. Now, it's not really necessary, but at the same time, it really is beneficial when you're trying to make straight edges when slicing or cutting off any remnants from your water slide. Once you have your tumbler completely taped off, we're going to go ahead and put our design into the water. I found this design in a huge bundle off of Etsy, and I'll make sure I have the link for you down below. For me, I always like to put my water slides face down, and it helps keep them nice and flat. I did seal this one with 3 times with the clear seal from Rust-Oleum, as well as 1 coat with the Plasti Dip. You'll know when your water slide is ready. It'll slide right off the backing. When working with water slides, you want to try to keep your hands as wet as you possibly can. Once you get this backing off your design, you really don't want to manhandle it more than you have to. The sole purpose would be just to get as many of those air pockets from underneath that water slide as you possibly can. If you don't get all the air pockets from underneath your water slide, when you go to epoxy, you will see them once your epoxy coat is dry or cured, if that makes sense. Once I'm certain I have removed all of my air pockets from underneath my water slide, I'm going to let this sit for about 12 to 15 minutes before coming back in with the X-Acto knife and slicing right down the center next to my tape. Once you have it sliced, you can now remove the water slide and the painter's tape at the same time. Now, once I have removed both sides of my tape, I allowed this to completely dry for a good hour or more before going into this coat of epoxy. I am again going to be using the Fast Set from Counterculture DIY for this coat of epoxy, and I'm doing another coat just to be on the safe side that I don't do anything to ruin the initial water slide that I've placed. As always, don't forget to use your heat torch to pop any bubbles you may or may not be able to see. So while our tumbler cures, let's talk about water slides. For today's project, I'm going to continue to use clear water slides as my images. And it's not necessary when using clear water slides to use the Cricut to cut them. I just use scissors, always have, and just cut as close to the image as I possibly can. As with all water slide sheets and images, I always seal them 3 times with the clear seal Rust-Oleum. Now for these image design sizes, it was not necessary for me to use Plasti Dip for these at all. I decided that I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these out, and I'll decide when it comes time to the design part which ones I'm actually going to use. I really hope you are enjoying this video so far, and if so, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials coming soon. Also, make sure you click that bell so you get notifications every time I launch a new video. Now that our tumbler is fully cured, we are ready for the design part. As with all my water slides, again, I like to place them face down at start, and then I'll flip them over, give them a few more moments, and then they're ready to be removed. You'll always know when your water slide is ready because it'll just slide right off its backing. As I stated earlier in the video, you don't really want to manhandle your water slides that much. However, this one was a little bit big considering, so I did need to finesse this one just a little bit more than the usual water slides that are following after this particular design. Again, most importantly, when working with water slides, you want to make sure you don't have any wrinkles, and you certainly don't want any air pockets. So as I do go through the remainder of the design process for this tumbler, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of back history. For those that know me, know we had a tragic, devastating loss just shy of 4 months ago. I'm making this tumbler, which is very heartfelt and very meaningful for me to design and put this tumbler together for a very, very special dear friend, a mom who lost her son at the age of 21. This tumbler means everything to me, and I put everything that I had into this tumbler, and it's taken me months to just really be able to move forward to even make this happen. Those that don't know or don't follow me don't understand the magnitude of this loss, but I can imagine or just know anyone who may have had a loss, a loss is a loss, and it's devastating and it's painful, and I'm sorry to anybody who is watching this currently that has lost a dear, dear loved one. I'm here for you. I hope you understand the meaning behind this tumbler and where for me this tumbler is. I don't think I've ever made a tumbler in the 2 years that I've been doing YouTube that has been this meaningful and painful to put together. But with all love and due respect of Tommy and Ebony, and the loss of their son has just been so great to our family, to everybody that we know. And so this tumbler is not just made at cause. This tumbler, yes, is a teaching mechanism. It is just full of water slides and a learning process. But at the same time, this tumbler doesn't come without cost. So I hope you guys can really appreciate where I'm coming from in making this tumbler and putting this together for you guys. So I just genuinely hope that you can appreciate. I hope that you love this tumbler when it's all said and done. If anybody responds that they've had a loss, or they've commented down in the description below, or in the comments below, if you will, that's had a loss, I sympathize. I'm sorry for each and every single one of your losses. It's devastating. It's traumatic. And I guess I am hung up on the Cardinals. I really believe that it means something. And so putting this tumbler together, in which she has no idea yet that I'm making for her, I am 100% without doubt she's going to love it, and it's going to mean something very special for her as much as it meant something special for me. So those and the viewers that have made it this far, I just want to thank you. I love each and every single one of you. You've all helped me get this far, and I can't wait to keep teaching. So I'm not trying to be like a sourpuss or anything like that, but anyone, again, who has lost a loved one knows the grief, the pain, and the grieving that continues on and on for months, into days, into years for something like this. And so applying the always and forever water slide here at the bottom is just something that we've always said since this has happened with Tommy. And I actually have a video where I did a tribute to him, which is completely not my typical, obviously, on my channel. So if you do want to take a time and a second to take a look at that, I'd appreciate that as well. If not, I completely understand. That's not the point of this video. Again, Thank you guys for understanding, and I just wanted to give you just a brief update as to what this cup means to me and what I know what it will mean to his mom. So God bless, and I love each and every single one of you. I also do want to mention that the video tribute for Tommy is not a monetized video. I purposely did not want to have monetization on that video because that wasn't at all the point. Now it's time to go ahead and do our nail tape. I'm going to be using the beautiful red nail tape from AB Designs. This is the 3mm size. Red was Tommy's favorite color, so it was just super perfect that I applied the red nail tape down the center of the tumbler. Yes, it's kind of a split, but it's really not kind of a split because birch is on one side and it's just plain glitter on the other, but it still is perfect to add in the red. I've shown you guys this a million times. Honestly, when you do the red nail tape, you definitely want to take your X-Acto knife and cut at the bottom as well as the top. You want to make sure all of your water slide is completely dry before moving on to this step. So once I added in the nail tape, I decided it needed something a little bit more. So I decided to add in the holly berries and the leaves right here underneath the saying and buddied up against the nail tape. So next up, I've seen so many amazing creators adding in their own personal touches. So I'm actually going to be using an acrylic marker from Arteza for this design, or this added extra little touch, if you will. So I have been so anxious and excited to give this a try, and I could not think of a better tumbler to go ahead and add in this personal touch. And using this Arteza marker, I'm just going to go in and enhance and bring to life the leaves. Do not be hung up on having to be perfect. We are not here trying to draw and trace in the perfect lines. We're trying to bring whimsical, fun, your personal touch. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. In all seriousness, I cannot wait to get a whole bunch of these tumblers now, because this genuinely was probably one of the funnest things I've done with a tumbler, and being able to have my hands and my personal little drawings on this tumbler was amazing. So don't be worried about being perfect. Just have fun with it. And listening back to myself, I said a whole bunch of tumblers. I totally meant a whole bunch of these markers. I also want to mention too, these are acrylic paint markers and they do not need to be sealed. Just give it a little bit of dry time and then you're ready for epoxy. So here's a step I almost never show in my videos. And I'm going to go ahead and take the 60 sand block and I'm going to sand down the rim, exposing a little bit of that stainless steel. I don't normally show this because so many wonderful creators already do show this step. But all we're going to do is expose a little bit of that stainless steel, so when we apply our final coat of epoxy, we have something to stick to. Once I have removed what I want to remove and I've sanded this down, I'm going to definitely wash it with soap and water, and it's going to be ready for its final coat of epoxy. So for this final coat of epoxy, I used about 20 mLs of the artist resin from Counterculture DIY. This was the one and final coat this tumbler needed, and it was completed. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to find me on TikTok under Rebecca Escott, Facebook at Everything Tumbler Tutorials for continued learning. Remember, all the links used in this video will be in the description for you below. As always, do not forget to use your heat torch to pop any and all bubbles you may or may not be able to see. Again, thank you so much for watching, and sending love to each and every single one of you.